What most of us know about SpaceX is just the Starship launches and tests. Of course, Starship is the largest rocket ever built, and watching it improve with every launch is like witnessing history in the making. But Starship is not the only project SpaceX is working on. They have many other important developments, and their Falcon rockets remain their most valuable ones. The Falcon rocket launches are what fund the development of Starship, so we need to recognize their importance. Recently, SpaceX made a major upgrade to one of its Falcon Heavy rocket, and it will blow your mind. In this video, we are going to explore exactly what SpaceX did and why it matters. Before we get into the details, make sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss future updates on SpaceX's groundbreaking achievements. The Falcon Heavy is an incredibly powerful rocket, and it shares a lot in common with its sibling, the Falcon 9. Both rockets are part of SpaceX's Falcon family and are built using similar technology. The Falcon 9 is the foundation of this family and was the first reusable rocket developed by SpaceX. It's used for most of their missions, launching satellites and resupplying the International Space Station. The Falcon Heavy takes this design and scales it up by combining 3 Falcon 9 boosters to create one massive rocket. These 3 boosters work together to produce over 5.1 million pounds of thrust at liftoff, which is what makes the Falcon Heavy so powerful. SpaceX started developing the Falcon family rockets with a clear goal in mind: to make space travel more affordable and reliable. Before the Falcon rockets, space missions were extremely expensive because the rockets were single-use. SpaceX changed this by designing rockets that could return to Earth and be reused. This innovation not only reduced costs, but also made frequent launches possible. The Falcon Heavy was built to handle much heavier loads than the Falcon 9. It stands 70 meters tall and can carry larger payloads into space, making it ideal for missions that require heavy or bulky cargo. Like the Falcon 9, the Falcon Heavy is also partially reusable. Now, SpaceX is adding something new to this rocket: an extended payload fairing. The payload fairing is a crucial part of the rocket. It acts like a protective shell, shielding the satellite or cargo from the intense forces, vibrations, and heat during the rocket's launch. Once the rocket is high enough in the atmosphere and past the harshest conditions, the fairing opens up to release the payload into space. The standard fairing is designed to be reusable, with mechanical latches and pneumatic pushers that ensure a smooth and safe opening process. SpaceX can recover these fairings, refurbish them, and use them again, which helps keep costs down. The new extended fairing is significantly larger, with an extra 17 feet of height compared to the original version. This added space allows the Falcon Heavy to carry bigger and more complex payloads, such as large satellites, scientific instruments, or equipment for special missions. However, because of its size and design, the extended fairing uses a different deployment system. Instead of the reusable mechanical latches, it relies on small controlled explosions along a frangible seam to split the fairing into 2 halves. This method is more stable and reduces the shock during separation, making it better suited for sensitive and heavy payloads. However, the larger fairing is single-use, since recovering and refurbishing it would require a more complex system and additional costs. Speaking of costs, the fairing is a significant part of the overall expense of a rocket launch. A standard Falcon 9 launch with a reusable fairing costs approximately $67 million, while the Falcon Heavy, depending on the mission, can cost upwards of $97 million. Adding the extended fairing and its specialized features likely increases the price, but it's a necessary trade-off for missions that require this additional capability. The Falcon Heavy rocket, despite being one of SpaceX's most powerful vehicles, had a relatively low number of launches in 2024. There are a few reasons for this slowdown. First, the Falcon Heavy is specifically designed for heavy lift missions, which means it is not as versatile or frequently needed as the Falcon 9. Most commercial and smaller satellite launches are more cost-effective with Falcon 9, which is why it remains SpaceX's workhorse with a high cadence of launches. In 2025, SpaceX has plans to ramp up the use of Falcon Heavy for key missions. Among them are several high-profile government contracts, including classified national security payloads and NASA missions. One major task for Falcon Heavy is launching the first modules of the Lunar Gateway, a project critical to NASA's Artemis program aimed at returning humans to the Moon. Falcon Heavy is also selected to support other scientific missions requiring heavy payloads, including those involving large satellites or multiple payloads launched in a single mission. However, some experts predict that Falcon Heavy's days may be numbered once Starship achieves full operational capability. Starship is designed to handle far larger payloads, and its fully reusable nature could drastically reduce launch costs. Starship is in an entirely different league when it comes to size and capability. It stands at a towering 120 meters compared to Falcon Heavy's 70 meters. In terms of payload capacity, Starship can carry up to 150 metric tons to low Earth orbit when fully reusable, and up to 250 metric tons in an expendable configuration. Falcon Heavy, on the other hand, can carry 63.8 metric tons to low Earth orbit. This makes Starship almost 3 times as powerful as Falcon Heavy for payload delivery. Starship has already conducted 7 launches, each building on the lessons learned from the previous one. Among the 7 test flights conducted so far, 2 stand out due to their major accomplishments and lessons learned. The most successful flight so far was Flight 5. In this mission, the Super Heavy booster executed a smooth launch and was successfully caught by the launch tower arms for the first time. Additionally, the upper stage of the Starship rocket was successfully guided back through re-entry and splashed down into the ocean as intended. This marked the first time SpaceX achieved recovery of both stages in a single flight, validating key components of the rocket's reuse strategy. Flight 7, while another important test, had mixed results. The Super Heavy booster once again performed a clean launch and was caught successfully using the tower arms, confirming the reliability of the booster recovery system. However, the upper stage faced issues during re-entry. Despite improvements to the heat shield and structural integrity, it was unable to withstand the extreme heat and forces, resulting in an explosion before it could complete a controlled splashdown. This highlighted weaknesses in the upper stage's ability to handle re-entry and pointed to areas where SpaceX needs to make further improvements. SpaceX is now gearing up for Flight 8, which is expected to be a pivotal moment in Starship's development. This flight will aim to achieve a fully successful orbital mission, including the recovery of both the Super Heavy booster and the Starship upper stage. Key upgrades include improved heat shields, stronger structural components, and fine-tuned Raptor engines designed for better efficiency and reliability. If successful, Flight 8 could pave the way for Starship's first operational missions. Looking ahead to 2025, SpaceX has ambitious plans for Starship. The company aims to conduct up to 24 Starship launches during the year, which would include a mix of commercial satellite deployments, NASA missions, and possibly the first uncrewed lunar landing under NASA's Artemis program. One major milestone planned for 2025 is the launch of the first human-rated Starship, which could serve as the foundation for crewed lunar missions. That's all for today's video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.